Now, this new it means something you've never actually allowed yourself to experience. And I'd like to demonstrate that here. I'd like to just do this is our 3-act experience day. So I'd like to demonstrate that. And if you would, everybody, please stand up. And those who are in the front row, please go to the back row behind one of the chairs in the back row. Everyone else, please just grab onto the chair in front of you. Hold on, just put your hands on it. You don't have to grab it, but put your hands on. Those of you who have moved to the back, just find a chair to put your hands on. And now take a good deep breath. And I want you to, this is just kind of an experiential thing. I want you to imagine for a moment holding on to that chair, holding on to that, just the back of the chair, that most of your life you go through holding on to something, your past, holding on to things like a job or family. And for those of you watching it online, please, yes, do get up and go around to the back side of your chair. Most of you hold on to what you would call your identity, what you consider to be your big assets in life, your strength, dedication, determination, intelligence, stubbornness. You hold on to those things because there is a feeling that there's a force, like a wind, coming at you, constantly blowing. You've got to hold on. Sometimes you hold on really tight. And it comes a lot, I see, with you when you're experiencing a physical trauma. You hold on really tight. I got to hold on to my health. I got to hold on to my body. I can't let this disease get me. I've got to hold on to my physical balance, because that's what I have as the most basic part of my human nature. I've got to hold on. This wind coming at you, this force coming at you, life itself, jobs, bills, payments, making money, putting enough on your table. I've got to hold on because this wind, this force could blow me over. I've got to hold on. Well, some days when you let go of the tension somewhat, but you still have your hand on the chair. Some days when you ease up, and then you say, oh, that was a good month because the wall was a little shorter. I held on a little less tight, but you still have your hand on that thing that you're holding on to. You're still holding on to you, to your thoughts, to your body, to your identity, because this constant stream of energies at you, coming at you like a wind, and sometimes even that wind dies down a little bit, and you ease up, but then suddenly the wind is back, and you got to grip again. So what do? You end up always holding on. You even hold on to beliefs and spiritual information and material. I want you to realize something right here, right now. That wind, that drone of energy, is actually not coming from the front. It's actually coming from the back, from behind you. It's the gravity. It's energy. It's the suction of mass consciousness. And all this time you've been holding on, thinking it was the wind in your face. It's actually the pull. It's not a push. And the more you resist, the more you hold on, the more intense that pull, that suction. Pull back in the body, pull back into singularity, pull back into the mind, pull back into old. That's what it is. It's old. And it's at your back, not at your front. It's sucking you in, not pushing you from the front. And now, I want you to realize something. The most important thing I'm going to say today, the new thing for you that may take a while to realize or to really feel and understand, but I'm going to tell you that energy does not have to be forceful. Energy does not have to have any force, front or back, up or down. You could take your hand off the chair and you're not going to fall apart. Energy does not have to have force whatsoever. Feel it for a moment. You've been so attuned to this drone, that noise, that awful, hellish, constant noise of energy, because you've been tuned into it. You came from it. You assumed it was coming from the front like a wind, when all the time it was actually pulling you from the back. But now, stop for a moment. New is that energy doesn't have to have force. It can do it for other people. They can live in that drone, that constant, almost unbearable noise. I want you to feel energy now in its grace. Kill the air conditioning, please. Feel energy in its grace. Easy, noiseless, calm, not pushing you, not pulling you, nothing for you to resist. Everyone believes that energy has force, and what's going to set you really apart from them is the realization that it doesn't. It doesn't mean that energy's not here. Go ahead, sit down. It doesn't mean that energy's not present, and that's what most people would think. I don't feel anything. I don't feel that constant pressure at my front or back. I don't feel anything. So therefore, there must not be any energy. So therefore, I have to get back into the drama, into the noise, to believe that there's energy. And that's not true. This is so simple and basic, but yet few will ever realize that they're in that noise. John, play that noise again. I just want you to hear that noise. This is the noise of, and I had to go through with Cauldre, track after track after track, to find something that exemplified the drone of human conscious noise. Up a little bit. That's what it's like. That's what most people live with every day. I'm not saying literally that noise, but that's what it's like. The constant noise of energy. And then they believe that that's what it's about. And then they create even more noise. And they try to attract more energy. And when that's enough, they try to create more noise. They live in this dronish, noisy, almost hellish state until they get so used to it, they think it's real. Until they get so used to it that when the volume goes up or down a little bit, they say, well, it's new. I had something new this month. The noise went down a little bit. It's still noise. It's still living in the noise. Energy, remember this. Write this, please. Energy does not need to have force to be real. Energy does not need to have force to be real. Energy does not need to be that noise. Energy does not need to have force to be real. On the screen, please. It can be quiet, and it's still there, and still as much of it. It can be gentle and graceful, and it's still there, just as much of it, but now richer, more multidimensional than all that noise that you've been living with. And that noise that gets into your head, and that noise is in your thoughts. And then your thoughts are sucked back into old. And you think it's a pressure coming like this at you, and all the time it's not. It fools everybody into thinking it's the wind coming at you. It's the force of energy coming at you. And the funny thing is, it's sucking you from the back while you're fighting it from the front. Energy does not have to have force to be real. Problems? A little out there. Does that make sense? Yes and no. That's and. That's and. It's if you remember nothing else on this day, this month, remember this. From now on, you go into your life, you do not have to have force with energy. But everybody's trained, everybody's hypnotized into it, and everybody is summoned by it. When they have to do something in their lives, they have a big project. Okay, got to get that noise going, and got to put more noise into the noise. And noise gets into your mind, and noise gets into your life, and you think then you're doing something, and you think you're doing it new because you got more noise than ever before. It's not. It is not. You can be in the grace of energy, noiseless, energy that's serving you gracefully, effortlessly, and accomplish 100-fold what the person who's using energy noise is doing. And it doesn't tire you out. It doesn't wear out your body. It doesn't make you think. It doesn't cause you to doubt. The noise causes you to doubt. And the funny thing is, the noise isn't even coming from where most people think it's coming from. Energy does not need to have force to be real. Energy in its purest state is without force. Be with that. Energy can be gentle, but yet so expansive. Energy can have no noise whatsoever and be more dynamic than all of the old consciousness noise. And this is new. This is where you're going. It's there. You can't think about it. I mean, you can't form your thoughts about it, because then you go back into the noise. Isn't that almost an interesting contradiction? You go right back into the noise then. Take a deep breath right here in this moment. No force. That's the I am. Nothing to resist through, nothing to fight, nothing to hold on to. And the mind says, but I don't feel anything. It's like, shut up, mind. You don't feel that old noise. Shut up, mind, because the moment I get into that, I get sucked right back into noise. Energy does not need force, does not need commotion, does not need noise, and you can be absolutely creative, absolute building what you want, accomplishing what you want, being who you want to be without the noise. It's right there. Energy all around, ready, waiting to serve you. The very first thing you're going to notice in new is a reduction in noise. The very first thing you're going to notice as you get out of your way, as you open up a bit, as you peek, allow that peek into the and. Stop worrying, stop holding on to that chair. The very first thing you're going to notice is that it's not noisy. And then the mind is going to say, well, nothing's working here. I didn't do it right because it's not all noisy. Shouldn't I have all this? No. It's there if you stop and allow it. It's not going to be like the old. It's not going to be all clangy and noisy. And it's not even going to give you high highs. You know, you got addicted to that. Let's get mental high today. Now, I'm not talking about your drugs. I'm talking about let's get that high. Let's really get ourselves all enthused here, motivated, stimulated, excited. That's kind of an addiction. That's noise. It's just more noise. And then you slide right back into the depressed noise. None of that. It's without the force now, without the noise. The mind is going to be the first place. Your thoughts are going to be the first place actually this manifests. Not in your outer external life, but the first thing you're going to notice is when you allow, when you get out of your way, out of the human's way, and when you get out of your butt and go into the and, you're going to notice that the thoughts are different. The thoughts are less noisy. I'm not talking about drama. I'm not talking about depression or versus excitement. Those are all levels of noise. Depression is a level of noise, as any of you who have ever had depression certainly understand. I'm talking about the thoughts. You're gonna imagine your mind. It's got all of these thoughts always going. And it's always trying to figure everything out, and it's always trying to hold on. But all of a sudden, you're going to go have streamers going out. And it's like, well, that was a little bit different. I wonder what's happening here. And then the old mind is going to say, oh, you better stop that. That's dangerous. That's dangerous activity. And you're going to go, no. There were streamers going on. You know, they were thoughts, but they weren't all noisy. They were thoughts, but they didn't question themselves. A thought that doesn't question itself. You see, every thought you have right now questions itself. It's built in, woven right into every thought to question itself. Suddenly you're going to get a thought, like a little swirl going up. Oh, that thought didn't question itself. That's different. That thought broke out of the zoo. Wow. And then you're going to question yourself. But based on what we're talking about here today, then you suddenly go, I remember that Saint-Germain talked about this, and it's like, no, it was Adamus. Adamus talked about not having to have noise. Maybe that's what that was. Wow. Maybe I'll open up just a little bit more. Maybe I'll start to realize that this thing here, this human thing, isn't the only thing. Maybe I'll begin to realize it's not about this golden divine angel swooping in and entering my body and suddenly transforming me and being my soulmate, my partner. And no, it's just the realization that there is this and without all the noise at the same time. Beautiful. And very quickly, so that important point, energy does not need to have force, noise, drama, commotion. It can be quiet it can be so graceful and yet so dynamic. So let's get over now having to push through life, having to make it so hard, so hard. It's not fun. Find a way to make sure you can listen to this soundtrack of Drone anytime you want to remember what the old life is. No, really, you need to go back once in a while. Play it again, John, if you would. Just Drone. I want you to remember this is what it's like. I have worked very carefully to select this, just to get the right annoyance to it. That's what it's like, 24/7. And then what people try to do is go noisier. It's like, oh yeah, that's what it's like to be creative. You just make more noise. You're still in the noise, you know. And a preacher would tell you the noise is hell. It's your punishment. It's God being upset with you for all your sins. And then there's even more noise with, oh, I'm a sinner. And it's like, and now God's mad at me too, and there's even more noise. And the New Age facilitator would try to, no, let's nurture the noise. Let's find meaning and love in the noise. And let's all accept noise because we are all one. And I'm telling you what happens. And the psychologist would be, where did that noise come from? And how do you feel about this noise? And can you be more comfortable with this noise? And why are you trying to resist noise? Everybody has noise. Would you take some of these noise medication pills? It'll just make the noise that much more pleasurable for you, but it's still noise. An atheist will just shoot himself and not worry about it because the noise stops for a little while. Love you too. So, where were we? Yeah, energy does not need force to be real. It's quiet, it's beautiful, it's gentle. We're going beyond the noise.